Folks, take a look at this gorgeous dish. This is shrimp. It has a chipotle sauce on it. And in Mexico, or in Mexican restaurants, that'll be called Camarones A La Diabla. And that would be shrimp in a devil's sauce. Folks, this is one that's worth your time, and it is not that tough to make. I'm going to be making a wonderful dish. This is shrimp in a chipotle sauce. Also known, if you were to go to a Mexican restaurant and pretty much anywhere and you order Camarones A La Diabla, well folks, that's what we're making today. It is shrimp in a devil's sauce or a chipotle sauce. This is a delicious dish. If you enjoy shrimp and you like spicy dishes, this is definitely the one for you. And if you're wondering, hey, is it spicy? Yeah, it's chipotle. Come on, yeah, of course it's spicy. So it's delicious, it's spicy, and it is an absolutely fantastic dish for spring and summer. Let me show you my version of Camarones A La Diabla. Oh, and by the way, when I say my version, I'm basically reverse engineering a dish, and I'm doing it for another video. I'm doing it for the tutorial on training the palate part 4. So this recipe I thought I would put out also just as a tutorial on Camarones A La Diabla. So let's get after it. I've got the ingredients out for the sauce. That's where it begins. The shrimp is an easy thing to do. All right, so we'll move on to that after the sauce has been produced. Now folks, it all starts with the chilies, all right? Chipotle chilies, that's this guy right over here. So you'll know, chipotle, there's no such thing as a chipotle bush, folks. This is a jalapeno. They smoke it, then they dry it, and this is what you get. You get this very stiff, leathery, dark colored chili. The meat on the inside is very dark, and it produces a very dark sauce. It's dark brown. So when you see a red chipotle sauce, that's because they used other chilies with it. So that's what we're going to do today, and that's what's going to make our dish a little bit red. So I've got 65 grams chipotle, 65 grams of these. Well, these are a guajillo chili. Guajillo, G-U-A-J-I-L-L-O is the way that is spelled. The guajillo chili is made from the marisol. You take a marisol chili, let it dry naturally, and this is what you get. If you need a substitute for this one, folks, try either the Colorado chili or a California chili. Both of those are a very good flavor profile for this particular recipe. In the recipe we're making today, we're also going to be using some garlic. Not a whole lot, but we want it as a nice light background flavor. And we're going to be using chicken broth. The chicken broth will be used later to thin the paste that we make with these chilies. First thing I need to do is to get these soaking in hot water, and that requires splitting them open. Now folks, in order to make a sauce, we have to start by getting the pulp on the inside of the chilies to soften up. The only way to do that is to get water to it, and to make that easier, we split them open. Now if you want, you can go ahead and remove some of the seeds at this time. You can shake them out if you'd like. You can also remove that stem if you don't like it in the way. Me, that'll happen later in the process, I figure. So having handled chilies a lot, I just do it this way. Now there is something that I want to say when it comes to splitting open chipotle chilies. They don't cut as easy as other chilies. They're very stiff. They're kind of hard and leathery. So you need to take the point of your knife and dash it in there and just kind of roll it down to split those open. They will be tough, so be careful in how you do that. Make sure you have a very firm grip on that knife. And by the way, if you'll notice the way I'm holding onto my knife, I'm choked up on it. My first finger and my thumb are pinching the blade so that it won't turn or roll under pressure. And that is a little safer way of using it. And don't be in a rush. Well, there's not a race here. It's going to take a couple of hours for these to soak, all right? So there's no sense in being in a rush at all on any of this. Okay, folks, now that you have hot water down in here, ooh, ouch, that hurts. These are going to take some time to soak. So I'm just going to give them time. It's going to be a couple of hours, and there is no rush on this. The reason I do this method is it gives a far superior chili paste product. I've taught this in many other videos. It really, really works well, so please try this, doing it this way. I'm going to cover this and just give it time. Folks, when it comes time to working these chilies, what I'm going to do is use a food mill. Now you can do this with a blender also. You take the skins of the chilies, wash off the seeds, take away the stems, put those skins down in your blender with some of the chicken broth and blend it up that way. But then you're going to have to run that through a strainer with a rubber spatula. And so in my view, it's a lot of extra work. Doing a food mill like this is so much quicker, and it gives you much better results. So you get faster and better quality. Now you want to use the smallest size sieve of the 3 sieves that come with it. And there's a lot of brands of these, so take a look around and pick one that suits you. They all work really good. Okay, I have my mill set up and ready to go here. I'm going to put it on top of a pot. There we go. Now I want to put a towel down underneath this. It makes it a little cleaner job, makes it easier to do this. There we go, that's a little better angle. I want to take that garlic. I just want to slice it thin. Now remember, when you're cutting like this and that blade is aimed towards your skin, you want to use the utmost care. Okay, so this is a somewhat dangerous technique. You can do this flat on the board, much easier. If your knife is too sharp, this is just too dangerous. This knife is somewhat dull-ish right now. It's not as sharp as normal. And just place the skins themselves. You can tear them open a little bit if you want. Place those skins right down in there. Now, if you've got a lot of seeds, wash those things out, okay? And then just throw away that stem. There we go. So I take that. I can wash any seeds off of that. Sometimes they're on there. With a food mill, it doesn't matter, guys. It does not matter at all, because the mill will separate your seeds from the skin, okay? So it gives you only the pulp. No seeds, no skins. You get just the best. Once I have my chilies down in here, I go ahead and just start cranking this paddle. But before we get right into that, I want to be downright honest about this. I have a timer here. I want to start this, and it does a count up. So I'm going to let that time, and we're going to do this. Now the reason I did the timer is I will of course do what I normally do and time lapse the video, because nobody wants to watch 4 or 5 or 10 minutes of this or whatever it becomes. So we're going to see how long it takes. Occasionally on a food mill, what gets pushed up on the sides, just work it back down into the bowl. It'll eventually all get worked through that strainer, and you're finished when you see a bunch of really stripped out skins like this one. Look at that, most of the pulp is gone from it now. It's almost stripped out. The rest of them are soon to follow. Okay guys, let's look at that timer. Okay, we're at 2:26, and that's just as straightforward as it gets. Our skins are all stripped out here. I'm going to rinse off this spatula, and that way we can look underneath and see what we've harvested. Now look at all that beautiful paste. No seeds, no skins, no stems, only the rehydrated paste. Oh, let's look inside of that. Look at that. See there? There's a little of the water there, not much. in this fantastic quality paste. And this is ready to go, okay? So now, if you were doing the blender method, after about, a minute and a half in the blender, you would then be starting to run it through the strainer and using a spatula like this to work it through. So you'd be maybe a quarter of the way through right now, working that down. I'm already ready to move on to the next step. We have our paste made. It is absolutely fantastic looking. Now I'm going to go ahead and work in some chicken stock. Now I started with 1.5 cups. I don't know if I'll need it all. Each time you do this, it depends on the chilies that you used as to how much liquid you're going to need for it. I'm looking for a consistency similar to spaghetti sauce. And this is a little bit on the thick side compared to that. So far I've used 1/2 cup of this. There, I put in another half. Okay. Now, let's look. Okay, we're starting to get that right consistency. However, if I cook this and steam out some of that moisture, it'll be too thick again. So I'm going to add in maybe another 1/4 cup. All right, now I just need to turn on the heat underneath, bring this to a boil, lower the temperature, and let it simmer covered. I want that to simmer once it starts coming up to a bubble for about 20 minutes, just to give me some flavor. Now, something else I'm going to add to it right now, because I know that chilies are salt thirsty. I'm going to add in 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There we go. So, just give that some time to cook. The sauce is finished cooking, and at present I'm cooking up some broccoli for myself. I wanted some simple pan-seared broccoli. Now, as that's doing its thing, I'll need to prepare my shrimp here, and that's going to be an easy do. We want to preheat the pan until I get a temperature high enough to give me Leidenfrost effect. In other words, when I put water in here, it'll skate and dance around rather than sizzling off. That way the pan is hot enough. Now I have prepared my shrimp, removing the peel, leaving only the tail. They've been deveined. All right, you see it's sizzling off quickly, but it's starting to give me a little bit of skating in there, a little bit, which means I'm just now beginning to get to that temperature that I'm looking for. It means that I'm not in a rush getting my shrimp in this pan at this very instant. Something I need to mention when you're going to cook shrimp: heat the pan first, put your oil in it after it's heated, then cook the shrimp off, and the shrimp do not take long. A couple of minutes and they are cooked up and ready to plate. There we go. The first thing I'm going to do before cooking these, I'm going to salt them very lightly. Not much at all, just a light salting. In the pan. And just let those cook. And I have here that Diabla sauce that I made. It's all ready to go. In a moment, as soon as the shrimp are cooked, I will dash them in the sauce and plate them up, and there we have it. So it's time to put them in our sauce. Right down in there. Oh yeah. Now they are well doused in our sauce. I'm ready to plate these up along with the side, which is my broccoli. Okay, let's go ahead and get these on the plate. Oh, yes. Camarones Diabla. Now we need to clean up our plating a little bit, and that is ready to go. Oh, yes. That, well, beautiful. That's what I was looking for right there. We've got a beautiful rainstorm outside. I've got some fabulous shrimp right here inside. Been enjoying it already. I'll tell you what, folks, if you want something that's really delicious, this is a fantastic way to do your shrimp. That sauce, the spicy kick, combined with the wonderful flavor of shrimp, those two things really go together well. Who would have guessed that a chili sauce on shrimp is that good? But it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Look at all the buffalo wings that people eat. Hot wings, things like that. Two flavors that work, and it works great just like this. Folks, please take a look at the channel. Also, subscribe if you haven't done so. I release on Thursdays, so you know when to look for me, and if you want notification, you know when you subscribe, click the bell. You've been through this. Please, if you have any requests, comments, or anything like that, write it out down below there in the comment section, and believe it or not, a lot of these requests that I get answered. Thanks for watching. Please enjoy your shrimp, and folks, you have a good day. Bye-bye. Heck yeah.